found that when it comes to forgiveness, the hardest thing to do is to forgive yourself. It's not even to forgive someone else. It's literally to forgive yourself. And it's not something I even thought about until recently. Because I found that I ended up actually rewatching my video and I was intensely hating myself. And I was like, why? Why do I have this feeling? And then I kept trying to process it, and I thought that the closest I could get to is just that I just hate myself. And I was like, well, why? And I found that I couldn't forgive myself, and I wouldn't even be sure for what. What did I do wrong? As a kid, right? As a kid, what can a kid do wrong? You're a kid, right? As a kid, you don't have so much of a choice, and you're just being guided by, I would say, by feeling or by the universe. So is something you ever do as a kid ever wrong, right? You cannot do anything wrong. But I think for whatever reason, that don't always communicate. It's like in here, I go, yes, I didn't do anything wrong. It's not my fault. It's okay. I can forgive myself. In here, it's like, no, but you did something bad and you don't deserve to exist. And then I wasn't really sure what to do next. So what I did do next is I kept reading the book that I'm actually getting this from. And in that book, it said that we're not really the same. When we go through life, right, your body changes, your molecules change, your mindset changes, everything changes. So you're not the same person that you were months ago. But given a kid, you're not the same person you were when you were a kid. So essentially, in a way, forgiving yourself is like forgiving someone else because you're not the same person, right? You have changed. Your body has changed. Your mind has changed. And if those two have changed, then it follows that you must also be different. And if it follows with that, then if it's easier to forgive someone else, and if you are able to think of it as a kid you being someone else, being a different human, being someone that is your best friend, someone that you love. If you look at your kid self as someone that you love, right, this uh, entity that is actually going through a lot, because we all go through a lot as kids, because none of us know how to be kids or how to parent, because parents want us to do well, they want us to be better than them. And essentially, this is just kind of whatever. The point is that if you look at a kid self as someone who is you, but not you, right? As if it's someone that's your best friend that you love, a separate person. If you look at it that way, because you're no longer the same, right? The person that you were back then, you changed and you learned, and you would not make the same mistake again. So if you would not make the same mistake again, then essentially you have basically benefited from that experience because you have learned, however painful it was, right? So I thought of it that what if I take my kid self and look at her as someone that I care about, that I think is going through a lot, and I try to just imagine this thing next to me, right? And like hug it and be like, it's okay, you're okay as you are. And I think maybe just that acceptance of the fact that there's nothing you can ever do wrong because you don't know what is wrong. And in particular, kids, they don't know. They're just learning. And it's how can you be blamed for making mistakes when you're learning? It's a learning process. You're supposed to make mistakes when you're learning. If you don't make mistakes, you don't learn. No one learns by being perfect. So I'd say I'm still working on it, but I think maybe every time that feeling comes up, if I can look at it as the kid me was separate, the me now is a different person, and I can choose the me in this moment, because this moment is all I have. So if I'm able to choose myself in this moment, it's kind of cool if you think about it, because then for you to be who you are today, you must have a different past, right? But then you have the past that you have just because you think of it that way. But for you to change in the present moment, you might have to change your past. This is going down a rabbit hole. But I should probably get off the ladder because I'm making videos on the ladder like a weird person. Yeah, so bottom of the point is that it's important to forgive yourself, but it's important to have fun and make videos on the ladder because I felt like being random. And what the hell is the point of life if you cannot have fun and be random and enjoy the moment? Because all I have is this moment. So if I feel like following whatever the cat was doing and having a good time just because I think in every moment that you are in, the most you can do is just have a good time. You can either choose to focus on the past, I can choose to focus on what happened, or I can choose to focus on the present and my next steps. So I think I'll just try to focus on the next steps and see what I can get excited about.